Okay, I totally didn't forget to unmute my mic. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here ever, welcome for the first time. I totally promised my mom I was going to send her a copy or a link to this. So let me do that really quick before Vanderbuilt gets on my case. But anyway, guys, welcome back. So glad you could join. It's been a busy day of lives today. Let's make sure I don't have any feedback going on. But welcome, guys. Let's see who is here. I saw Elrelia here nice and early. We have our tea. So welcome Dee Dee. I'm glad you got your soda. Hey Rambrace. Hey Taranki, Mandy, and Kai. Welcome guys. So today we are going to be talking about literally what you guys request all the time. I see it on Discord all the time. I've seen all the comments. You guys want to know more about jobs. Like what jobs are available in Second Life, how to find them, like how much money you even make from jobs, what a job in Second Life even means, like all the fun stuff. So we're going to talk about jobs. I'm honestly not going to sit here and pretend to be an expert. So if you're watching and you have any familiarity with, there we go, familiarity, whatever. We're getting over it. With jobs or working in Second Life, please drop your knowledge. Again, Second Life 101 series is catered to new residents in Second Life, but I think it's also useful for all of us who learn something new every time. Like I learn things from you guys all of the time. So I'm really excited to be here with you. Before we dive in though, we have some new follows that I want to shout out. It's gonna be a long list, so let's all prepare. Hey Bruna. But I want to make sure I take a second to shout you guys out and thank you so much for following. So if your name's not here, you might just have your subscribes hidden, but thank you guys so much for subscribing. So Ninja, Leo07, I'm gonna butcher some of these names, I'm so sorry. Yumukin, Kea, Rose Brooks, Aaliyah Casinas, Deshaun Towson, Gina May, one sec, literally almost choked. Ophism, Joanna Cartagena, Joy Curson, Michael Leba, Caroline Dutra, J.A. Cathan G, Cookies and Cream, Jalandra Brown, Tarek Plays, Valentia, Celia Rose, Naya Mamor, Tatiana Reese, Serafina, who hung out with us earlier, Serafina, Maggie Gunner, Keisha Henry. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. We have to take a moment to say a yas. Yes. So thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Join Arlo Fam. Iraqi, I don't know about that one. All right, so let's dive into this. So I'm actually here at the Vanderbilt. I figured I'd do this because this is where I have the most like open jobs. So let's structure it this way. First thing I want to do is talk about like what the job potential is, how to find jobs, and then lastly, the jobs that I know that are hiring right now, including some of my own and some other jobs. No sound on the yas. Gosh darn it. Wait, you know what? That's something we could do a take two. So
Yes.
I think that's it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if that was it or not. I can't tell. Hopefully that was it. Something's always a struggle. Hey, Callie. Oh my god, the ass is still going. Anyway, Aurelia, you're gonna be like my new like logistics person. Did you guys hear it that time? I think I'm choking. So if you watch me today, it's been a live stream marathon today. We live streamed to talk about all the Second Life updates and what's coming in 2020. We live streamed Shiny Shabby and the Bell event. And I came across a spider during one of my lives. So you guys also heard me scream at the top of my lungs, go to battle with a spider. I almost lost, but I ended up winning. But of course I set off like bug bombs in my house. I'm freaked out and I think I'm choking from them right now. Hey Theon, well thank you so much for subscribing. Glad to have you. All right. I think I might have to get a different glass of water because I think this one was open when I set off all the bug bombs. So I'm drinking poison right now. or bug foggers. I don't know. It was traumatizing. I did survive. It took some serious like work. I had to call my mother. She had to coach me through it. So Gigi, you better be watching. So let's get right into it. So a couple things to know about jobs. So we're gonna walk to the office. I came over to the Vanderbilt because I wanted to be cute. But we're gonna go to the SLB&B office so I can feel legit. So first we're gonna talk about like what kind of jobs exist in SL. I think a lot of the times when you're new to SL, we always tell you to like try your hand at hosting or get a host job. When people say that, they're meaning, who this? Is this Zara? Zane. Girl, what you doing? But people often say like get a hosting job because hosting jobs are one thing where you don't need all of that much. Like you need some skill, but it's something you can learn on the job. The biggest skill you need are people skills. So when you're thinking about getting a job in Second Life, try to really figure out what you're good at. If you are a social person who can like keep a crowd going and chat and know how to keep conversations going, know how to connect and relate with people. Okay, girl, what is happening to my neck here? Then a lot of times hosting jobs are good. You'll find hosting jobs at a lot of clubs. So dance clubs, places like Exhale where we're trying to get our undercover avatar a job. She's not working out. She's not getting hired. But hosting is really good. Hey Sykes, welcome. And Mandy, I'm with you. I also would have burned. I mean, I thought about it. I've got a lot of candles and some serious stuff under the sink out. But yeah, so I think the first thing to think about when you want to get a job, one, what's your interest is, because you want to find something you're genuinely going to, Chosha's out, be interested in when it comes to working in SL. Because although like jobs can be a lot of work, you still want to be having some sort of fun. So figure out what you're good at. If you're good at literally just talking to people, hosting is a perfect job because that is a lot of your job. And then when we talk about hosts, there are two different types of hosts. There are hosts that are on the club scene, so you're a club host, or they're like traveling hosts that go to different clubs. Hey Sunkissed. Either way, on the back end, you want to kind of build your network of people that you know and people that you can teleport to your sets. So it comes with a lot of work that goes beyond just staying in the club and dancing around. That's a big part of it. You want to like come fully equipped, so have dances ready if the club doesn't provide them for you. But you really want to be able to drive conversations with people. But that's one of those jobs where you want to know a lot of people and have a lot of people on your list. So you can always tap people and tell them you're hosting and come visit. And hey Sunkiss, welcome. I haven't seen you guys in days. I have to plan a trip for us this weekend. So hosting is usually the go-to. Of course, there's dancing. So everyone knows the adult side of Second Life is pretty thriving. And not all that hard to get into. And it's very similar to hosting. I think, you know, on the adult side of Second Life, you end up making more because it requires a little more. But tons of clubs out there. I started dancing in Second Life with another club. I was there for a little bit before I started the Monarchy. And I just find it fun because I think it's very similar to hosting, but you know, a little extra. There are a couple extra activities, but with dancing, it's something harder to get into when you're brand new. So I know a lot of people come from IMVU that have like role play backgrounds. You kind of need that experience. So one, you need the role play experience, but you also need to understand like how role playing works in Second Life. So I think that takes a little more research. And it's a little tougher to jump right in. I know at the Monarchy, we take all different types of experience, but when it comes to just being a completely new avatar that hasn't experienced Second Life, that's where it gets a little complicated. So I think being completely new to Second Life, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I know a lot of you guys in chat have actually been in SL for a little bit. So bring your expertise to this as well. And we're gonna have to I'm gonna pause for 2 seconds because I do need to replace my water. All right. So beyond hosting and dancing, so we consider those like service industry. So you're kind of helping other people experience Second Life the best. So if you don't even have to be outgoing or extroverted. I think when I started Second Life, I considered myself an introvert. Over the years, I've discovered that is exactly the opposite of what I am. But yeah, same psych. So a lot of clubs will have role play classes. If you're completely not familiar with it, that's a good point. At the Monarchy, for example, we don't do role play classes. We do a lot of training, and we're developing different types of training in terms of like skill, but we do expect like a certain level of role play experience. So if that's somewhere you ultimately want to go, you kind of want to become just really good really good at it, because at the end of the day, that's what you're being paid to do. So if you're wanting to get into something that requires role play to get paid, I would recommend like honestly going to role play sims and learning more about role play, and maybe finding some of these clubs and jobs that offer classes on it, because ultimately it turns out to be so useful, because that's what people are paying you for. So those I consider like service industry. Anytime you're like dealing with people, if you're good with people, I think they're incredible to get into. A lot of what I really loved about working in clubs as well, because you're not just an entertainer. If you like entertaining, that's a huge thing, but you're also really building connections and bonds with people. And a lot of times we used to joke around like we're the unofficial therapists of Second Life, and that's really what it was. So when if you really do just like being a shoulder to lean on, being someone that can be really positive for someone, helping someone really improve their experience in SL or be able to event or anything like that, it's a really good thing to get into. And if you don't even like the adult side of it, there are positions within clubs where you don't have to do any of that. So like our club, for example, we haven't done it in a while. We haven't hired one, but we also have champagne girls who are basically the same position. You build the same type of relationship. You're just not going that extra mile and doing like the extra 18 plus type stuff, if you know what I mean. So additionally to that, if you're a girl, if you're experienced with like customer service, a lot of these big brands hire customer service reps. So there's everything from like the clothing stores we all go to. As you know, I think it's really important for creators not to be the ones to communicate with their customers all the time, because when you're really close to a product and really passionate about a product, I think it's difficult to also be the one to resolve or deal with customer inquiries. So you'll notice there are a lot of jobs open for customer service reps. Oh yeah, Theon, 7 years, never had a job. Totally normal. I know a lot of people, it's like not their focus at all. Oh, rare. Awesome. But yeah, so if you're really good at customer service, I would recommend looking at some of the brands that you really like, finding a brand that you like their product, kind of see how they do business. And customer service jobs are pretty common in SL with a lot of different brands. You also have brands that are that have blogger managers. So if you're good logistically in real life with organization and that kind of thing, you could even look into being just like a brand manager or a blog manager. There are a lot of those type of positions in Worldist too, as well. Kayla, what about being an SL doctor? So yeah, so this one I would say that kind of falls in two categories, because it could be a job or it could be a full-blown business, because there are a lot of people that role play pregnancies, and there are all these different systems at Second Life now to enhance that pregnancy role play. Like if you've ever seen my blog, like literally if you Google Second Life pregnancy, I think my blog pregnancy diary pops up. But I went to SL doctors for it, and I paid for it. I think, a short package, a low package was like 2,500 Linden, and that was for 4 visits. So you'll find a lot of clinics that offer jobs doing it, so you could be a doctor. But I think a lot of people that have the skill set just open a clinic of their own. But again, you want to learn as much as possible about the systems that people use, because people are going to go to an SL doctor for you to kind of be the resource. So when I went to my SL doctor, I actually was going there to find out like what I needed to buy, how long things were going to take, how it actually worked. So I think if you just find out about all of that stuff and then look for clinics that are open and see if they have availability for new doctors, because a lot of these clinics, like I mentioned, they're they're just individually owned, so they don't have many resources beyond what they can offer. So I think that's a great way to get a job, and that might be something unique that fits with your skill set and interest without like looking for an available job. I would just honestly contact those people, because that was the one issue I had with one of the clinics I went to. Her schedule was completely opposite my schedule, but if she would have just had one more doctor in there, it would have been perfect. And a lot of times when you work closely with someone like that, they'll train you and teach you everything you need to know. So yeah, it might be interesting to do that with another clinic before opening one of your own, but at least you can see like what the experience is all like. Iraqi, I don't know about SL divorce lawyers. I don't know how that works, but I know, oh, that's another thing. So BU has lawyers and BU has doctors. So BU doctors, I honestly think that's a thriving business. I feel like that's going to blow up. So if you want to be a doctor, also incorporate BU stuff, because people are like hopping on the BU train. But there are clinics and doctors for BU, because BU and the actual system, you can get sick. So you have to see a doctor, and if you're charging per visit, that makes so much sense. So I would go for it, Kayla. I think that's awesome. I'm trying to do an in-world meetup about different business ideas and give like suggestions on how to get them started, because I think it's so cool to see these things pop up. What other jobs are there? Let me think. But yeah, being a doctor is definitely one of them. Excuse me, I did not mean to cough on you guys. We're still blaming this on the spider, because I did set off a bug fogger in my apartment. I probably shouldn't be in the apartment. Or whatever. And then, so what else besides that? I would say there are also things that are really good for brand new avatars to do that you don't necessarily need a bunch of Second Life knowledge for. So I'm gonna talk a little, I may as well just talk about it now. So my friend, so Raina, who was here earlier, she owns a sim called Gotcha Grove, and they're gotcha resellers, and she has an available position now open for an assistant. And like, you don't need all of that much Second Life experience. It really is a logistical job. So if you're organized and you have the availability to come on at least once a day, you know, she has lined it out to show you exactly what to do. And it's mostly group management. So that's a job that someone brand new could do, because she's going to show you what you need to do. You don't have to like deal with customers. You're literally just kind of following a checklist. So if that's something you're interested in to make like some extra money, and it should only take like a little bit of time a day, I think that's something really useful to try. Especially if it's something like you can do while doing another job. I always like that concept. Like if you're dancing, for example, and you're not like extremely busy at the moment, you could be doing something from another job like that. Oh yeah, Kayla, look it up in World. So use the search feature. So if you actually like hit the little search bar and look up different clinics, because there are so many that offer different services. So Hands on Care Maternity Clinic, they're actually one that has like real life doctors. So I don't know like what their requirements are to work there, but I think if you're an aspiring doctor, that might be really interesting to work alongside real life doctors who are in SL, you know, doing some of this role play. I always think that's cool. Yes, if you have Gotcha, literally, I'll link Gotcha Grove in the description. That's where I sell all my Gotcha extras. I don't put them on MP anymore because there are different fees associated with Marketplace, so I literally just drop them off at the Grove. Her tables are so cheap. Like, it's literally like less than 100 L, I think, for a table. I think I saw something for 45 Linden, and you can just put out your items and sell them. Easy. But yeah, she's hiring an assistant, so I'll link that below. Her name is Raina. It's actually what is her name? It's like Queen Bee Mommy. Let me find her. She was the one that was on live with me earlier. Oh yeah, it's Queen Bee Mommy. I'm gonna put it here. Assistant at Gotcha Grove. And it's cool. If you like gotcha stuff, you'll be the first to like see all the new stuff coming in. I really like that sim. Yeah, Kayla, definitely check it out. Because that's where I went to get all of my resources for my last pregnancy, Hands on Care, because they also create like the animated or the mesh bellies that have a growing fetus, and they have like all the baby vitamins and all the stuff you need for pregnancy. Like it's by Hands on Care. Like Hands on Care also makes the Mama Alpha system, or the same guy who creates. Am I thinking of the right place? Is it Hands on Care? I think so. I don't know. I think it's the one I'm thinking of, but also creates Mom Alpha. So yeah, literally anything you can think of that you have a general interest in, you can probably find a job for. And a lot of times you'll find those jobs in search. So I use the search feature all the time. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. If you're good at sales, honestly, there are a lot of jobs, or if you just have a following of any sort, there are a lot of jobs in Second Life that are good for that as well. Just literally, yeah, I think it's hands-on care. Hey, Annabelle, welcome. If not, I will correct myself in the description, because now I think I'm kind of mixing up the different clinics I went to. But yeah, so hosting, what did we talk about? Hosting, dancing, doctors, customer service. Did I cover all the like basics? But I want to show you guys a really cool, or another resource that I tend to look at when, well, this is where I post jobs. So I think it would be useful if you're looking for a job. Let me pull up my browser. Oops. Oh yes, if you play musical instruments. So let's talk about like just going like almost being like an independent contractor, I consider. But no, I keep messing this up. I'm trying to show you guys my browser. But there are a lot of jobs that you can do where you're kind of in business for yourself. So that's why I was talking about there are two different types of hosts. So there's a host that actually go to a club, you apply to the club, you become a host. And then there's like the traveling host. So I'm the type to hire the traveling host. And that way you can just kind of pick up gigs. It's like kind of gig economy. So you have to build up a network. You have to meet a lot of people. You have to add a lot of people to your list. Let me pull this up really quick. But that way you can actually like travel around. You can meet DJs, get hired as a host with them. But also if you DJ or play like music, a lot of places hire DJs and whatnot to actually come perform at their clubs. So secondlife.com. Oh, hey, Brian. And no worries, Brian. It'll be here. I won't delete this one. BU. So BU is like a simulation system where it kind of makes your Second Life like The Sims. So it tracks what you do and, you know, how healthy you are. You have to eat and stuff with it. Let me log in first. Oh, I'm logged in. Okay. So secondlife.com. This is the website that has like all the stuff you need. There's an option up here called community, and then you go to forums. And there are a bunch of different forums. So the one that I usually post to when I have a job that I need to talk about, there's a commerce forum. Let me see. But you also notice like the creation forum is a good one if you're good at anything like meshing or I don't know, all those kind of things. There's a lot there. But commerce forum. So you'll see in-world employment and wanted. So if you have a special skill that you want to promote here, I've honestly gone to wanted when I needed something quick. Like what have I needed? I don't even know. Or like when I didn't feel like doing a flyer or something, if there was a graphic designer, they could always go here. And I could post about it. But I'm gonna open both of these so you can see what I mean. This is literally where you can find out about a lot of jobs that are out. So I think this is the greatest. You can see all the different clubs that are out. what they're hiring DJs, hosts, and managers. You have all these different types of jobs here, like even street fighters. I don't know what that's all about. But also, if you have a skill, you can post yourself here and say that, you know, you're looking for a job. But yeah, you'll see a lot here. And honestly, there's so much. And even for wanted, so sometimes you can find just like gigs. So if you like gigs versus like a job that you're gonna have to go to every week, you can always find a gig. Like people are hiring riggers and meshers, texture designers. Yeah, people are selling land, looking for roommates. Like literally, there's so much here. What did I see about what? 4-person cuddles and dead. So yeah, you have a ton of options on the Second Life forum. That's how I would recommend if you're like looking for a job to start there. What, Aurelia? But yeah, so check that out. I know Lindens, so the staff manager for all of our Vanderbuilt companies, she posts on here sometimes when we need someone. So you'll probably see stuff from either the Monarchy or the Vanderbilt on here as well. But yeah, there's literally so much. Oh yeah, see, here's one of ours. Literally all the time. So I would definitely check that out if you're like actively seeking a job. But also just look around like Sims you visit. They're usually hiring. Oh yeah, if you haven't. So a lot of, so you know all the cooking videos I do on my channel and stuff, that's all BU. So I know people even offer like BU classes, like literally anything. That's where I would start for you is like figure out what you're good at in real life. And like what your general interest in Second Life is gonna be, and you're gonna find a job that's related. As a new person, because you guys, you know, you're brand new here, you might not know anyone. I always recommend something that's gonna be really social for you. So I recommend hosting and dancing, or a role play type job, like possibly working at a restaurant. I think even Kayla, like possibly being a doctor. Anywhere you're gonna kind of meet more people, I think is what's going to make you want to stay in Second Life longer. Everyone I've ever met in Second Life, I've met through either working or business. All of my friends currently, that's how I met them. So I think it's definitely worth it to find a place that you're comfortable with, that kind of fits your aesthetic. Like it's what you want to, the environment you want to be in, the people that you want to be around, kind of make sure all those match. But yeah. What K-pop ad? I miss things. And where did I display the logo? On their website? I'm going to their website. I'm talking about them. I'm gonna go. I've seen posts like that. See ya, Theon. Alright, a couple things though I want to talk about, like what you are absolutely going to have to need to know to work in Second Life, because pretty much every job includes this. So one is understanding events. I wish I was actually in, or understanding groups. I wish I was actually in Firestorm because it looks so different on Black Dragon. But a lot of things you'll notice when people are, all right guys, I crashed. My OBS crashed. So I'm coming back up. I don't know if you can hear me yet. But yeah, OBS totally just crashed on me. I'm actually going to open up Firestorm because it's more common that you guys are using something similar to Firestorm. So we're coming back. We're just loading up. Hey, Amanda. Oh yeah, Aurelia. So that was a while ago, and it was before like people were doing a lot in terms of Second Life, like videos on YouTube and all that. I don't know how strict they are on it now. They better tell me if they have a problem with it. But I think it's fine. I mean, I was showing their website, so. All right, I'm loading up. Sorry about the crash. We're gonna like, we're gonna get on Firestorm. Ah. Hey Janae, welcome. All right, we're gonna get back at it because I want to show you some of the really basic things that you need to know to actually, get a job and convince someone that you're a worthy applicant. Because I think a lot of times when you're brand new to Second Life, you're just like, oh, I'll just learn on the job. I'm a quick learner. But if you are someone that's going to cause more work for an employer, they're less apt to hire you. Hey, Cup of Bleach. Welcome. So you always want to keep that in mind. Like the whole purpose of your job is to remove the burden from your employer. So if they feel like they're going to have to train you on how to use really basic things in SL, they might honestly just go on to the next candidate. Yeah. Yes, like, so that's the case. Like right now I'm a Second Life affiliate, so I have like Second Life advertisements all over the place. And also we did that one collab video with Lindens Labs or the Second Life channel. I think it's fine. All right, I'm gonna zoom out because my clothes are still rezzing. I'm not trying to be naked in this video. Hey Dior, hey Ninji. All right. We haven't been on Firestorm in a very long time. I think my clothes are just rezzing in. I'm gonna just make sure they're on. Cause you never know with the crash. You always come back naked somehow. Okay, they're actually there. So let me park it. So a couple things I want to show you. It's a Meela video. There might just be booty. Oh, but I am relieved to be back on Firestorm a little bit because I can mute the groups. That's the only thing I hate about Black Dragon. You can't shut those groups up. And I don't know why sitting here it looks like I'm having a full-blown... What is it? I don't know what term I'm looking for. Like I need an exorcism. Alright, but while this is coming up, there are certain things that you need to know. Ooh, our graphics are way too low. Jeez. But there are a couple things that you just need to know about Second Life. One, I think you need to be familiar with events. I guess while this is loading up, I can show you guys what events look like on the Second Life website. So a lot of jobs when it comes to... Did I delete it? Hosting jobs, DJ jobs, anything where you're kind of in the public eye or you need to entertain an audience or something like that, a lot of the times you'll also be responsible for setting events. Clubs like mine, you're not required to set events, but it's always something that's really useful to know how to do. So it's also something you'll just find on the Second Life website. Our wig is slipping, Dior. But yeah, so again, Second Life website, this is where all the fun stuff is. There's this tab over here called events. And now, one, you get to see like all the events that are going on, but you also get to create events here. So it's literally just the form. It's a very simple form, but people always like want to know if you have any experience creating events. And literally this is it. So I would read all those like terms, but this is just the page you would fill out. I'm really trying to avoid like showing y'all my Linden balance. So throw this whole screen away. But that's all you have to do. Like, you literally, all you have to do is put the event name, date, the time. It's a very simple form that you fill out. You just have to remember that has to be done 2 hours before an event starts. But it's so easy. And that's just one of those things that could be between, like, you getting a job and someone else getting it over you. Alright, we're still rezzing. Ugh, Firestorm life. Oh yeah, Rare. So that's another thing. Zuby is monopolize on Zuby because Zuby is such a big money pit. Like, people spend so much on those little babies, and by people I mean I spend so much on those little babies. But yeah, the creator of Zuby, they have kits on it and there are videos on how to do it, and they just, it's like an affiliate type thing. They just keep a portion of your sales. All right, so let's go to group stuff. The other thing I think is really common for jobs to require you to know how to do is to send notices in a group. So most jobs, when you join them, they're going to have you join their either a staff group or possibly a group that also connects to their customers or their members of their clubs or what have you. You're always going to want to know how to send a notice, and literally notices are also very easy. There's a notice tab in groups, and you literally hit new notice, and it's just like a note to the entire group that they have about whatever you need to say. So a lot of the times if you're hosting, usually hosts work 2 hours at a time, so a typical set for a host is 2 hours. A lot of times if you're the host, you're the one responsible for letting the group know that you're working right now. So you'll have to be able to send a notice. It has to be something that's kind of interesting, make people want to come to whatever you're doing. Here at the Vanderbilt, as you notice, like, people drop by whenever they want to. Like right now there are people over there eating, but it's really, we don't plan it out for them. They can come in whenever they want. That's why we say we're always open and it's self-service. But if you're a waitress at the Vanderbilt, you kind of want to let the group know you're here to drum up some interest and make people want to like come over. So really easy thing to do is to send a notice. It's a subject and a little message, getting straight to the point. So as a new resident, just make sure you know what people are talking about when they ask what your experience is with sending notices. This is literally it. Don't say you have to be taught to send a notice, because then they might not think you're prepared to have a job. But honestly, like, all clubs and all different types of places have all these different little rules to follow, but a lot of it is genuinely common sense, just framed in like a weird SL speak way. So I also, on my blog, I have this whole like SL glossary, random terms that we all like to use in SL. So just check that out. And then, I'm so sorry, I forget the settings are so different in Firestorm. We like a smooth camera. But what else? You guys have to also give me questions, because I want to know what you're curious about jobs. Another way to find jobs is to literally search in World. So you guys know I use the search for literally everything. This is how you find Sims. You can find jobs, random things you might be interested in, you can find here in search. You'll also see things popping up here all the time, so you'll know what's going on and what to kind of look for. But I'm just gonna type in jobs. I'm gonna type hiring, and literally all of these different things are places that are hiring. So even things like being an artist, so this photography place is hiring artists, this place is hiring DJs and hosts. You're gonna see a bunch of strip clubs, because strip clubs are always hiring, aka we're also always hiring at the Monarchy. You don't ever have to ask me if we're hiring. Literally always, everyone's always hiring. All the strip clubs are hiring. So you'll see that a whole lot. If you don't want to see all the adult stuff, just uncheck adult, and then you can see all the other ratings. And then like even high schools, so high schools, they have, well, schools in general, there are a lot of schools in Second Life. If you have a specific talent and you want to offer a class, like I know a lot of people do creative writing classes, people do actual role play classes. So if you want to like find out more about role play, you can. Look at someone asking me if I work here. But yeah, literally so many places are hiring. I'm trying to think of like a job that I haven't thought of that might be in here. But yeah, search hiring in Worlds. You'll see all of these. Again, search on the actual Second Life forums. And there are also like job agencies, I remember there used to be. And then there are also companies like SmartBots, which provide bot services. They have actual like reps that help you with like tech issues and all of that kind of stuff. They pay actual like really good money. And they're hiring too. So look up SmartBots. But yeah, see, they have recruitment agencies. I've absolutely never done this. So I have no idea how those work or if they're at all useful. Yeah, Kia, we talked a little about doctors. But yeah. Anything that's kind of roleplay focused, you'll find a job for. And another thing to know is like the majority of jobs are for tips. So most places where you have a job, you're not getting a salary, you're getting tipped. So it really is going to be kind of about the effort that you put in, because people have to feel compelled to tip you. And then of course with that, there are going to be like good and bad days. Some days you're going to have like incredible work days. Other days you might make little to nothing. So I think just prepare yourself mentally for that type of stuff. But you know, it really is an effort thing. I think that's the one thing in Second Life. For a lot of these jobs, it's not just like this one little package where you're only doing what you think the job is. Like when we say hosting, like your job is not just to stand there and talk to people in a room. Like there's so much that goes on logistically for hosts. Like it's a fun job overall, but like again, you might be the one setting events. You're probably, you know, messaging a group and also sending notices. You're also building up a list of people that you can teleport to these places. You're probably working with DJs to understand when you might need to send group invites or anything like that. So there are a lot of different things that add on to it. But then on top of that, you still have to do your job. So you still have to make a connection with people. So, you know, they want to tip you. No, so most hosts just get tips. The majority of Second Life jobs get tips. So anything where you can get a tip, that's usually the whole compensation situation. Things like customer service reps or anything like assistants usually get salaries. But yeah, anything where you have the option to get tips, you're probably just going to work for tips. So yeah, hosts, DJs. DJ is a different one though, because if you DJ for a club, usually it's 4 tips. But if you're kind of one of those independent DJs for hire, you may also get, you know, a paid set fee plus tips. So it just really depends. Same with like hosts for hire. We tend to hire the host for whatever their like hourly or set time is. So sets are 2 hours. So usually they charge per 2 hours. So you might get paid for the hire and then also make tips. Yep, rental agents are another one. That's another one where a lot of times though, they don't necessarily make a salary, they make a portion of rental sales. So anything with sales, a lot of the times you're making a portion of sales. So some rental places do offer full salaries, but a lot it's a percentage, which can be great, especially if you're working for somewhere that has, you know, decently priced rentals and there are a bunch of them. You know, making a post on Facebook, getting like people to come over or something like that, and then renting all that out, you could make a lot of money. But yeah, a lot of it's a portion of sales. And then I would even just make sure you're prepared. That's another thing, because a lot of the times when I'm hiring for something where I'm giving a salary, I ask people what their salary expectations are. So for me, like hiring a personal assistant, actually right now I'm hiring a business manager for myself personally. So if you're interested in working with me directly, I literally only need one. So it's been a process. But I'm gonna ask you what you want to be paid. So I think it's in your best interest to do some research. I think on average, like I know a lot of customer service places, like I was talking to Amy, I've never had a customer service job in Second Life, but our Lindens, who's actually my hiring manager, she has had a bunch of those different types of jobs, and it could range anywhere from, you know, 1,000 or 2 a week up to just like free merchandise or things like that. So you always want to like be very clear what you expect in terms of compensation, and make sure you're not shy to have that conversation. I'm that person who is not shy to talk about money. Am I frozen? No. Okay. I'm getting paranoid now. But yeah, make sure you're like comfortable having that conversation, because money is different everywhere you go to work. So you always want to make sure your expectation is the same as your employer's. But yeah, rental agents are another one. What else is there? Well, right now I'm at the Vanderbilt. Oh, I said schools, yeah. So I'm at the Vanderbilt now. I'm in the SLBNB office because it's the only like office setting I have in Second Life. But right now we have jobs available. We're not really actively hiring for SLBNB, but there are jobs available. You can come check it out. Primarily at the Vanderbilt, we're hiring for the restaurant, so we hire waitresses, bartenders, and it's very similar to what a hosting job is, but in a role play environment. So here, people just stop in to dine. A lot of it's self-service, but people do have the option to hire a waitress. So a lot of the job here is like being on call, but also it's the same kind of situation where you have a set, you come in to work your set, you send out notices to the group to let them know you're here. You get to know more people that are in the group, the more they want to come to your set at the restaurant. So the more they want to come check you out as a waitress. So that's very role play specific. Bartenders, of course, it's just a little more lax than being a waitress because you're mostly chatting and just talking, whereas a waitress, you're kind of role playing and emoting. But that's what goes down here. It's very similar to being a host, literally just with like the whole concept of dining. So you have those options. Rare for that. I haven't seen a roleplay sim that has like stores for the sake of them being jobs. I'm not too sure. But I think in terms of roleplay, like you just want to develop a significant like backstory for your sim. Like what's it all about? That's usually what attracts role players. Is your sim having a backstory and a place for them to build characters? And yes, word, you can apply. Everyone, you know, we don't have any requirements. I know a lot of places, oh, that's another thing I need to talk about. A lot of places require that your avatar be at least 3 months old because they're really banking on the fact that you need to know things about Second Life to have a job. Like I mentioned, you need to know how to set events, you need to know how groups work. So do your own research because the places that don't have that requirement, like me, for example, you know, we don't have that requirement at the Vanderbilt. You can come in here day one if you look decent, but we're expecting that you know how to do things. So you're gonna have to know how to work, you know, givers. You're gonna have to know how to work a group. You're gonna have to know how to pass people objects. You're gonna have to know things about Second Life. So keep that in mind before applying. I would check out a place, kind of get a sense of what's expected, and then apply. So yeah, Cup of Bleach, yeah, come check us out. So we are new resident friendly, but again, there are some things that you're gonna have to know, and I think also familiarizing yourself with kind of the etiquette of different places. So I would visit wherever you're thinking about applying first. Like for example, the Faith and Flower, we have a dress code. Like waitresses are always in all black cocktail attire. People that come in, it's not like a formal environment, but they expect like a certain level of professionalism because they want it to feel real. So if you're just like hanging out and chatting with someone else, like a friend or something, it doesn't feel like a real restaurant to them. So for roleplay environments, it's very like you kind of want to create the scene for customers. Bartenders though, bartenders are laid back and just chatting, so it's kind of a different feel. But yeah, very new. Like, I mean, we'll take the application, but you'll have to make sure you know how to do things. Because again, if it's too much of a burden on like the person who's hiring you, they're not going to want to hire you. They want someone who makes their job easier. Because like at the end of the day, I could come stand in Faith and Flower and do this job, but I don't have time. No, I couldn't. But I want to make sure that the people that are paying for an experience aren't being shortchanged because you can't figure out like how to do stuff. So I think you've got some homework, especially if you're brand new, to figure out how things work. The biggest thing in a restaurant, you're gonna have to know how to work these little place settings on the table. You're gonna have to understand how menus work. You're probably gonna have to understand how to like edit and move things into place. So like right clicking and editing and actually like moving things, because there might be times you have to res things out on tables. When it comes to like drinks and stuff, you're gonna have to make sure you know how to like pass drinks to people. Literally by dragging something from your inventory to a person is how you give something to someone. So you're gonna have to make sure you know how to do those types of things before actually trying to get the job, because I think a lot of people trust new residents for lack of experience, but they're not gonna like let you go act crazy and their whole establishment get a bad rating because you just don't quite know how to do something. But also I think it's about being transparent. Like even in real life, when you're new to a job, you're like, all right, I'm brand new to this, bear with me 2 seconds, I just need to figure this out, or I need to ask someone. So just don't be shy. I think we run into that a lot at the club when people don't quite know how to do something. They're very afraid to ask, and we're like, we'd rather you just ask the right person. So right now I am at Faith and Flower. So this is at the Vanderbilt. This is one of our restaurants here. But this is one that's really role play focused. I don't know if being a waitress is a huge like cash cow in Second Life. Honestly, it's so related to the experience that you provide. But this one, so waitresses at Second Life, you're for hire. So you have, well, not at Second Life, at Faith and Flower. For someone to use you as a waitress, they actually have to pay you a set fee. So you have an hourly fee that you're paid for just to serve their table, and then you get tips on top of that. So you kind of want to really work towards giving them a great experience. But then you can also offer additional services. So say they're having like a birthday party upstairs and they just need like a cater waitress or something like that, you have the option of charging them a different rate for that. If you know BU and you're a BU chef or have BU meals, or you know like really specific things about BU and you want to serve like BU guests, because we have a BU table over here, there's a different rate for that as well. So you can get really creative with it, and I always encourage people to do that. Like don't just rely on tips, like create a menu of services you could offer that are really unique to you. Like even here, like we host like little events sometimes, like I mean outside there's just a lot of space. So I've done like yoga classes. You can always charge direct things. I would say like nothing insane, but you could always do like role play things that you charge people to come for. But yeah, this is one of those, I think one of those jobs that where you get like a set fee and also tips. So here we do like parties of 2. You're only paying like 400 Linden for a waitress, and then you're also tipping her. So if you're a waitress and you manage to get like 4 or 5 tables at once and you're being paid 400 by each table, and they're also tipping you, it could, you know, equal out to what a host would make in a set. So keep those things in mind. For waitressing, it's per hour, whereas for like hosting or dancing, usually a set is 2 hours. So that's how much of your time is usually being taken up. Also at the Vanderbilt, since we have a couple of different venues, you can also serve people in different places. So lab is like our gaming space. It's technically a restaurant. There's a bar on the 3rd floor. You can always like just decide to come up here and bartend. But that's the stuff that we have at lab or at the Vanderbilt. And I don't know all that much about other restaurants. I think the only other restaurant that I frequent is Essentia, the hotel, and they have, I forget the name of their restaurant, but I go there to eat sometimes as well. And they have a kind of a similar setup. So if you want to hire a waitress, you pay a set fee, and then if you like that waitress service, you tip her like normal. So I see that a lot. Yay, Sunkissed. Have a good night. See ya. Hey, Ruby. Welcome. This is live. So it's talking about waitressing right now. What else is there in Second Life for jobs? There's so much. And now, so you guys know, yes, we're live. But yeah, so the Monarchy is also hiring. I'm always afraid to bring you guys to the Monarchy because we have some things on the walls that are not YouTube friendly. So I'm not gonna bring you over there. But the Monarchy hires all the time. So for the Monarchy, I mean, we're at a point where we have a pretty large staff. So like I mentioned before, we used to hire girls of like any experience. Again, Monarchy is a female only club, so I only have positions for women. The Vanderbilt, however, hires both men and women. You just have to look decent and have to have like some really basic logistical skills, and know how to roleplay and enjoy role-playing. But in terms of the club, you do need some experience. So that's kind of new for us. We haven't required experience, but we think it's just it's just a better experience for you if you've had experience doing, what we do at the club. So for the club, I would definitely get a job at another club first and just gain some experience that way, and then come over to us if that's really what you want to do. But kind of check it out. Come check it out. We're open access on Tuesdays. We're a members only club, but I think just the demand of our client, they're expecting someone or people who are just like really creative and really good at it. Again, we're not going to completely deny you. If your application is just amazing, we're probably just going to look at it that way. But you really have to be a strong role player. When we talk about role playing in Second Life, you have to be a strong emoter. I might do a role play like basics video, but emoting is the way in which people in Second Life role play. So you have to be kind of strong at that, and you have to be a really strong conversationalist and know how to drive conversations with people, and you have to be really good at like managing your own clients and networking and like keeping buzz about yourself alive. But then beyond that, you have to kind of really know how to leverage what we offer in general to further promote yourself. So a lot of people kind of work there under the radar, and I think don't take advantage of what we really want to give them. But you're not even going to know about all that stuff until you work somewhere else. So I think it's always best to work somewhere else. If you're honestly just wanting to work at the Monarchy to begin with, it's always good to like maybe either start at another club or start in another Vanderbuilt company. Like Faith and Flower is a Vanderbuilt company where you're going to understand like what it kind of takes to be, having a job successfully. And then, you're already going to have the connections to start at the Monarchy. So then just hop on over. And we're always hiring, so you never have to ask me if we're hiring. Absolutely always. Swordwalker, yeah, no, music is totally an option. So if you play music, like if you're a musician, a lot of people hire musicians. So for that, I would just recommend that you have the best system to make sure sound is heard very clearly and high quality in world, and that you're good, and people will hire you. So always look on, forums to see like who may be hiring live musicians, or just honestly approach venue owners. Like I've been approached here at Faith and Flower to just have a live musician. I'm like, sure, I'm not going to put you through the ringer. I'm probably not going to pay you if I've never heard of you before, but you can work for tips. And like if I really like what a live musician's doing for tips and they like the crowd likes them, like one, I'm going to help them like promote it, so I'm going to make sure our group knows about it. And if people are really responsive to them, then I might hire you for your next set. So that means I'm going to actually pay you to come, and you're also going to be able to work for tips. If you're a DJ, it's the same kind of situation. If you're just experienced in doing it, I would honestly start with maybe a smaller club if you're brand new to it, so you can make sure you know all the logistical things and then kind of build yourself up that way. Ninja, no. So usually for all Second Life jobs, the benefit of that is you usually set your own hours. Clubs where they have like hosts and DJs, it's usually less flexible. So if you sign up for a set, they're going to expect you to commit to that set. So you have to make sure that your schedule is flexible enough for you to actually commit to something. Other clubs like, dance clubs or places like the Monarchy, we require girls to sign up for sets, but there's no big deal if they can't make it unless it's like a live party where we're relying on them, but that's usually very rarely the case. So places like dance clubs are a lot more flexible. You can sign up for a set, but you're like, oh crap, I can't make it. Just remove yourself from the schedule. Whereas like a dance club, like an X Hill type of situation, if there's a DJ scheduled at 6 p.m. on Friday and they just don't show up, that means there's a gap in their like night. So X Hill is one of those clubs where there's a DJ every single like 2 hours that's live. And if someone just doesn't show up, it's weird, and they lose a lot of the people that were in there. But yeah, waitressing, absolutely not. Literally, waitresses here, you come in whenever you want to work. If we're having an event, we'll communicate that with our employee group, but otherwise you're just being paged. So people are going to actually click your page board in the restaurant, ask you to come waitress. If you're available, you just come in. Otherwise, it's up to you to decide like when you want to work and make sure you're consistent. So a lot of it is so independent. Like you have to be someone that knows how to work independently. And if not, then I'd recommend possibly finding a restaurant that requires a schedule. I'm never going to be that person. Like I can't guarantee when I'm going to be online, so I don't like requiring other people to, but it does give you a lot of independence, and it gives you a lot of responsibility on making sure you can communicate with staff and then of course, customers. So with independence comes a lot more work as well. So that's always a challenge. I think even at the club, because it's so independent, it's like we're never requiring girls, commit to a schedule. Because we don't do that, we can't necessarily advertise certain sets a lot because we don't know if anyone's going to be there or not. So a lot of it, because it's independent, means a lot of work does fall on them to make sure they're letting our groups know when they're there, make sure they're letting their personal clients know, and that's just how that works. If we're having a party though, we do require a schedule, and if they don't show up, it's a bigger deal if we can't find a replacement. So a lot of places are independent, a lot do have specific schedules. I don't know anywhere in Second Life that you have to be online every single day unless it's something where you're like hired for a gig. Like the job with Reina, like she's gonna need someone to do something every single day, but it's project focused. It's not necessarily like you have to be on from like 8 to 12. It's more so like, I just need you to get these 3 things done every single day so you can figure out when you can log in and do it. And Ruby, I love it. Yes. Yeah, a lot of clubs require a certain account age because they're assuming within that time frame you'll have learned about all of this. I think for a lot of people that's what we're concerned with, that you're not going to know enough to do a good job. But if you are very confident that you've done your homework, you've done your research, you know what you're doing, especially with DJing, I would honestly just find a couple of places that'll let you DJ without them putting any work in. Like if a brand new DJ came to me today and said, hey, I'm brand new to Second Life, I've done XYZ, I've learned all of these different things, I just need somewhere to test them out, I'm gonna just test it out here, see what you can do, and then go for it. And hey Jira, sorry, I always say your name wrong. I haven't seen reading books to people, but I'm sure you can make it a job. Like I have gone to readings before, and literally all you have to do is, like, it's 4 tips. Everything's 4 tips. So if people are interested and like want to stick around, then they do it. How are you able to find me? You're not able to find me. don't try to message me because I won't respond. I'm joking. But I have a hiring manager. I don't do any of my hiring, so you're always going to want to just visit the venue. So here at the Vanderbilt, we have an application process. On the application, you'll have contacts for managers that you can reach out to if you have any questions. Same with the Monarchy. Also, you guys know I opened Fantasy Island last week. I don't know when I opened, but so Fantasy Island's coming with a bunch of new creative jobs. So we're gonna have waitresses there, but also if you have a hobby that includes like transport, like if you like to fly or if you like to sail, we're also hiring people to do those types of things for our guests. So literally, or even driving. I've actually hired driving services in Second Life because there's so much to do on mainland. But if you fly, sail, have a helicopter, drive, and you want to offer those types of things, so those type of things, like people pay for experiences in Second Life. So if you can do any of that, that's also another job that you can pay for, where you're paid to do it, and then you also might get tips. So Ruby, it sounds like you want to go work in an adult club. If you're 18 plus, that's a big option. Same, Mandy. We do have people that come in to basically date. But yeah, it's a real thing. Oh, Nika, first of all, shout out to you because you called out something on my last video and I had to snatch that video down. It wasn't actually my name, but it wasn't Meela. And it's a name that's nobody else's business. So I snatched that video down. I'm editing it. So thanks for that call out. Yeah, if you're an adult, if you're over 18, like granted you don't have to do adult things on that like dates, but you do have to be an adult to work in those types of clubs. Yeah, Dee Dee, it's a thing. But yeah, I mean, it's an option. Literally, if you're being paid today, it's by the hour, so you don't have to commit. You just have to commit to that hour. But do you guys have any other questions? So again, the available jobs, I'm going to link those on my blog. So the ones that I know, there are just my businesses. So the Monarchy, the Vanderbilt, and Fantasy Island. Of course, also Reina at Gotcha Grove is hiring an assistant. Me personally, I'm hiring a business manager. So a lot of what I do in Second Life is related to business. This is going to be much more related to what I do on YouTube, some of the partnerships that I make with different brands. I honestly need someone to manage all of that because it gets wild. So there's that. Lynette, I think that is something I've seen in Second Life before, so I would definitely, one, search it. So see what might be there. I think it's always good to like maybe go to another place before starting your own, but there are a lot of places that offer those type of services. For counseling, I don't know what you would get paid though, because a lot of them that I see, they do it for free. It's just like a volunteer type thing, so I don't know about getting money for it. Would managers usually get paid? What types of managers? Like personal managers or like for venues? Because it can vary. So managers for venues can get paid well. Like my personal business manager, probably, you know, a couple of thousand a week. Because again, it's not a daily thing, it's more project focused. So it'll vary, one, depending on experience. So when I'm deciding a salary for someone, I'm always gonna ask someone what they want to be paid. If you can't answer that question, I'm not gonna hire you. Because I need someone direct, especially for this job. Like I need someone who's a business person, who's direct, who knows how to say what they want. So for me, tell me what you want to be paid. So for that, literally think about what your expenses are and how much money you personally want in Second Life. But also ask questions like, how much of my time is this going to take up? For me, it's not a daily thing. It's like getting on a couple of days, sending a couple of notices or note cards to people. So it's not a time commitment. It's more of a skill commitment. So I'm also going to really look at experience. So literally, if like no experience or very little experience, it could be like $1,000. Someone with a lot more experience who can produce results, it could be several $1,000s. So it can really vary. Mandy, so that's good. So what I would recommend for you, because I've found that people are really good at roleplay, and you guys are really good at immersive roleplay, which is kind of the plus. Like you can really get people involved in a storyline or make them feel like they're really experiencing something real. So that's what people want in Second Life. You'll just have to you need to know like the Second Life roleplay etiquette. So I would honestly just go to roleplay sims where people are actually roleplaying actively. Crackton, I know it sounds funny, but Crackton, there are always people there role playing and emoting and local, so at least you can see like what the standard is. And I would go somewhere where they emote. So emoting is like just how people role play here. But yeah, Serafina, it is very hard to find a job, and you just want to focus on a place you're comfortable with. Because you're gonna work hard regardless. You just want to make sure it's fun. If you're not having fun working hard, then maybe that's not the place for you, but you're going to work hard. It's hard work no matter what you do. Like what I've always done in Second Life has always been very time consuming, hard work. And you're dealing with, whenever you're dealing with people, it can be frustrating too. And there are always going to be days that are hit or miss. So you're going to have to just make sure you enjoy it and enjoy the people and, you know, keep trying until you get there. Yeah, see, hook up here. She's gonna come for your counseling services to talk about those commitment issues. What is $5 a week, Dior? Ruby, that is literally what people pay for dating, like to go on a date. And you know, people pay you to go on shopping dates. Like they will pay you to take you shopping, and usually $2K is the minimum. So it is a fact. That's what we do in the club. But yeah, literally the minimum. And let me see, I'm trying to catch up on everybody's comments. In real life, you want to be an office manager. So yeah, I think probably pairing up with someone who has a business and they need a lot of logistical things. Like when I hire someone, like personally, like not for my business, but for like me personally, like helping with like schedule management, helping with a lot of like my partner management, my sponsor management. I want someone who has those real life skills. Where's the restaurant? So if you look down in the description, so look down in the video where it says view more, you could teleport to the Vanderbilt or Faith and Flower. That's where the restaurant is. Vanderbilt Landing will have the application. Nail salon roleplay. Oh, massage. That's another thing that we offer at Fantasy Island. So those jobs aren't posted yet, but I'm telling you, so going to have jobs for waitresses, massage therapists, pilots. What do you call people that sail? Captains? That's terrible that I don't know. I'll find that out. But yeah, I haven't seen many salon roleplay jobs, although I've wanted to, because I've looked it up to see if I could go like to the nail salon, or they're not just like, they're not managed very well, because the one I went to, I couldn't figure out how to book an appointment, but it is something I would have paid for. So I would have paid for someone just like hang out and do that with friends. Like, yeah, anything that's kind of cool, I'd pay for. I don't know if you could buy all of Mangula with 2K. A fat pack there is more than that. Yeah, Ruby, if you want to put your username, that's up to you. But yeah, make some shmonies, Mandy. Honestly, if you have like a real life skill, you could sell it in Second Life. Like, you just have to make sure you know the basics of Second Life and you're fine. Yes, Ruby, networking 101. And then Nika, you had a job as a customer service rep for a shoe store in SL, logged on every day. Come back to SL, you're gonna be a slacker. I get you. I have no idea how the customer service jobs work, so I would totally love your insight on that. You worked in PR for a few years. So see, someone like you, Serafina, I would want on the business side of things. So when I hire people, I'm interested in what their actual skill set is versus what their Second Life skills are. Because for me, I can tell you what to do with the Second Life stuff. When it comes to my personal stuff, when it comes to like the club or the restaurant, I'm gonna need you to know some Second Life things. I don't have time. But when it comes to, I literally have a position for one person, I need to know your real skills. So that's what I'm looking for. Do managers get a fixed rate? Let's say 1K a week, or is hourly payment thing? Clarify for me what type of managers you're looking for or talking about. So venue managers, a lot of times it is set pay. Depending on your management level and depending on the type of venue. So tell me exactly like what kind of venue you're talking about. Ruby is cracking me up. Dating stuff money. Join a club. Be 18 plus. But you're gonna have to work in a club for that. Because I don't know where other people, like where else people would go to hire. Usually if someone wants that, they're gonna look up an adult club, even if it's not an adult date. There are sims for that. You can search for sugar daddies and mommies. I don't know if that's a job. Oh, the 1L gifts. Yeah, if you're looking at gifts, you could probably buy out a few stores with 2K. Sailor. I'm so dead. I'm like, what are people who sail? What are they called? Sailors. Literally. Dead. Yeah, all the nail spas always close. How am I still not caught up with comments? I got so far behind. I am so sorry, y'all. Dating jobs. You're not gonna find anything for like dating jobs. Or that. Or compensated dating. Literally, you're gonna have to join a club. Or you're gonna have to network and meet people. Like, we tell this to girls at the club. Here's like a secret coming out from the club. Like, you literally have to meet people. Not with the guise of saying, I want you to pay me. You have to be a normal human being. Venue management. Usually depending on the level. So like general managers usually get paid. If you're like a niche type of manager, like an events manager or something like that, it'll vary depending on the type of club, but yeah, usually you have a salary. Yeah, see, Serafina, you should be hitting me up for a job. A male strip club. There are a lot out there. Housewife, digital art, playing games, eating food. I feel you. But yeah, do you guys have any other questions? We are coming up. We are past the hour. I did not think this could take up a whole hour. I was like, I'm not doing that video. It's not gonna be long enough. This whole time, my whole head's been chopped off. But yeah. If your real life skill is food, become a BU chef. Oh yes, Word, I see you on radar. You're totally here. Send me a note card. Send me a note card with what you're good at. And also what you want to be paid. Because I'm going to ask you. Be prepared. be prepared to answer it. Another cool thing that I'm actually developing. So here at the Vanderbilt, you guys know I have a Discord server where all day long people need to know like how to get their like avatars together and stuff. And there are actually services in SL who do these makeovers for you. So if you're like one of those people, we're actually putting a place out where you can advertise your service or just like put up a board so people know how to page you. So if you have any of these like very specific skill sets like inventory management, setting up avatars, anything like that, just keep a lookout. I'm gonna put it on my blog when it's all set up, but just come here, grab a board, and people can page you. Elrelia, not so much like on the creative. It's more so dealing with people. So a lot of what I do, we do a lot of like product placement. We do a lot of brand like partnerships. So I need people that are very comfortable with other business owners. Oh yeah, this seems laggy right now. It needs to restart, but people keep dropping down, so I haven't restarted it. BU, if you come to the Vanderbilt, I have a BU HUD giver. It's free. You just get the HUD and you go to their website and they have a bunch of resources, or you can go to the actual BU sim. You'll have to just search it in World and then you can find it. But yeah, someone asked something. Oh, what do escorts make an hour? It varies. It's a hard job. So it's a really hard job, and it can vary because some days or some hours are going to be slow because it's really about, you're basically a sales representative. So if you've ever worked in retail, if and you get like a commission of sales, like you'll know what I mean. Like you can have an awesome hour and then you can have a really slow hour. On average, I can't even say what the average is because we have girls in the club who make 5K a week. We have girls in the club who make 120K a week. So literally it varies depending on your skill set and how smart you're working. But per hour, most charge like between 5 and 10K an hour. But yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. What did I miss? Did I miss anybody? You want to own a sim, just put your house down. Yeah, there's a lot. There are a lot of Paradise is who I usually rent from, so check them out. They're really good. Rare, are you also on the sim that I live on? Because I see your name on radar, I think, all the time. Yeah, my FPS is only at a 14 right now. See, you got people skills, Didi. Sales. Get yourself to an adult club. That's from clients. The clubs don't pay you. Yeah. Clubs, it's more about literally finding the right one for you and the right people for you. For our club, it's literally like, it's hard to like get out of people, but the people who have done the best in our club are the ones who like ask for the most from management, and not to do their job, but to ask like, how can I work smarter? How can I make this work for me? What can you provide me? Like, those are the people we tend to invest our time into, and they tend to just make a lot more money. But you have to be a right fit. And I think a lot of working for like adult clubs and Second Life, it's about finding the right fit, because there are so many of them. There's so many of us out there, and every club is just not for every person, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I don't think, you know, a girl coming to work at our club, it might not be a good fit. Like, it's not going to be an environment for everyone, so just make sure you find the right fit. Is it legal to put a house on a skybox? Yeah, so a lot of times there are platforms in the sky that you can just put a house on and put like trees around it so you don't know you're about to fall off. Oh, yeah. Mainland can be expensive. Is it on Tomato? Because if it's on Tomato, I might take it off your hands. No, Second Life's not on PS4. It's just on computers, and there are only certain viewers that are approved for it. So the Second Life viewer, Firestorm, Black Dragon, there are a couple of others out there, but it's not for PlayStation. That's hilarious. Like, were you there did you live there before we did the sailing video? Because I was just like, I swear we were just hanging out with her. All right, guys, I do need to wrap up. If you want to continue this conversation, hop over. I'm going to be on Discord for the next like 30 minutes or so, 30, 45. Oh, it's Friday. I'll be on there for a bit. I ain't going out for drinks until like 9 p.m. So if you want to continue this conversation, my DR link is in the description below. So just hit see more. You'll see my Discord link. All you have to do is create a username, join the server. I'm going to continue this conversation. If you have more questions, just join the live over there. And thank you so much for joining. I hope this was informative and useful. I know it was kind of all over the place, but I am going to organize something this weekend and put it into a blog post. So check out MeelaVanderbuilt.com. I'll put the link here when I finish it. Lynette, I think it's significantly better in terms of graphics. Black Dragon is better than Firestorms in terms of graphics. Performance and just like interface wise, I don't know. It's literally a preference because I like the interface of Firestorm much better. But yeah, heading out. Come over to Discord if you want to continue this conversation. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. Again, I usually do Second Life 101 videos on Wednesdays at 6:30. So I'll be back next Wednesday at 6:30. If there are any changes, I'll mention it on Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for being here.